Hello my crafty peeps, it's Cheyenne from ecdesignstudios.com. I've been playing around with my lighting and I think I'm happy with it. I don't know. Let me know if it's working for you guys or not. Well, I guess, if it's working, it's okay. Maintain radio silence. If it's not quite right, go ahead and let me know. Okay, so today it's Saturday and it's very Valentine's Day because, we gotta prep for this stuff, right? So I got an idea for a card. I was perusing Pinterest, which is one of my favorite places to get ideas and inspiration from. So I'm going to do a variation from that card. I don't remember who did it. I can probably find it and link it on my blog post. Remember, my website, ecdesignstudios.com, is the hub of everything EC Design Studios. So, pop on over there to, get all of the pertinent information about just about anything. Also remember to go over and follow my EC Design Facebook page. I'm going to start to do more Facebook Live videos and stuff for those like quick little, oh hey, did you guys know about this and that and all of that. So anyway, enough of all that. Let's get on to what we're doing. Now I'm actually going to show you two different projects that you can do with this same idea. So we will be making a card. We're also going to be making a Project Life card for this. So, you can take these ideas and you can use them for multiple of things, and I have no idea what my hands are doing, but I'm grabbing something and yes. Okay, so materials we're going to need. The Sealed with Love bundle. So I'm not sure what stamps I'm actually going to use, but we will be using some of the framelits. So the ones that we're going to be using are this envelope shape and this little note card shape. This will fit very nicely into the envelope once we make it. So that's what I'm wanting. This is the basis of the idea for the card, really. So we're going to use those two, and like I said, we're probably going to pop in some more of the stamps, probably a teeny tiny note set with love you lots, maybe a hugs and kisses, kiss, we'll work it in. I think love note might be, something that ends up on the bottom. I don't know. But if we do that, there will be some basic black archival stamping. I think if you wanted to do the basic gray instead of the basic black, you could totally do that. I just want the striking, pop that the basic black will give. But the basic gray will give like a nice, subtle sort of quality without going like as harsh as a black can be sometimes. Just so you know, make it fit your purposes. All right, card dimensions. I've got a piece of pool party cardstock. It was an 8.5 by 11 sheet. I cut it at 4 1/4, scored it at 5 1/2. So that's going to give us a top folding standard A2 size card. So let's go ahead and fold that up. And remember, the score line, it was kind of going in here, going up there. So that's how I like it, to fold it, so that I don't get as much cracking along my seam. So my big tip, which I've given in other videos. All right, we're also going to need 2 sheets of very vanilla cardstock cut at 4 by 5 1/4. I have that wrong on my little notes, so let me go ahead and fix that so that when I'm doing my blog post, I'm actually putting down the right dimension. So 4 by 5 1/4. One of these is going to go on the outside, and because we're using a colored card base, I always like to put a piece of, very white or not very white, very vanilla or whisper white in the center for when you're writing your sentiment instead of like struggling to read on the different colors. Sometimes it's up to you. That's just my personal preference, and I kind of feel like it gives a little bit more extra heft to that back piece because we put so much on the card fronts. Sometimes it's nice to have that second layer in the back there to give it, a little more substance. So, all right, I've also got a scrap piece of 4 1/4 by 5 1/2, very vanilla, and this is what we're going to be cutting the note cards from. I'm hoping it's going to be enough. For a Project Life card, I've got a 4 by 5 piece of Pool Party, and I've got a 2 3/4 by 3 3/4 of Very Vanilla. So that's going to be the base for our project life card. Next up, we've got some Sending Love designer series paper. This comes in a little stack. It is a 6 by 6 sheet, so lots of fun little things. Now I went ahead and I pulled out one of each, and I'm going to do an envelope in each one of these, and these are double-sided, so I'm going to do an envelope for both sides. So you can see one side has a majority of a red sort of background, like we would definitely, you know, file these away as red, and the other side are like a white base to it. So again, I'm going out of each one of these sheets, I'm going to be cutting 2 of the envelopes. So one so that I can have the envelope be white, and one so it can be red. And we're going to do that with the Big Shot. Okay, other things that you're going to need: your snail adhesive. I'm going to use the Tombow Multi-Mono Liquid Glue. It's just liquid glue in the catalog if you're needing to find it. And I also have some clothespins for when I'm gluing together the envelope. So let me go and grab the Big Shot, because that's the next thing that we're going to need to do, because that is the basis of everything that we're going to do from this point on. Okay, so here we go. We got our Big Shot. I'm going to use the magnetic platform. You don't have to do this. You can absolutely use the standard platform that comes with your Big Shot. I've got a fairly new cutting plate, but it's going to lay flat. So let me just, all right, you can feel like the little engraving in it, so I just want to flip it over because I'm trying to avoid having my cutting plates get quite as warped, but I'm going to go ahead and use this for the top sheet because, you know, the magnetic platform definitely works best when it is a, you know, flat cutting pad. So I'm just going to pop in my first little envelope, top it with the second cutting plate, and roll it through. Okay, and now because I'm wanting them flipped, like, you can absolutely just go ahead and keep it this way and do the second one, but I want the score lines going in the right direction. So what I'm going to do is actually flip this over, and because it's got words on it too, I can, you know, try to line it up so the words aren't going to be quite so wonky, but I don't really mind too much if they are. So I'm just going to flip that around. I'm going to do the same thing on each of these pieces of paper, and I'm sure that you do not want to watch me do this on every single piece of designer series paper that I pulled out. So just know that this is how it's going to go. So I'm going to cut all those out, and then I will return. Okay, so we've got all of our little envelopes done. Turns out to be 16 of each color, and I did find, because the designer series paper is a little bit more on the thinner side, you could layer 2 sheets of it together and cut it at the same time. Stampin' Up! Doesn't necessarily recommend doing it that way, but again, it's a finer paper, and you know, I did find that the embossing did go through, like for the score lines. So that means we're going to need to cut 16 of these little guys out of Very Vanilla. So again, magnetic platform, my cutting sheet. You remember to flip your cutting sheets regularly. So I'm just going to pop that on there, place my second cutting plate, and run it through, and I'm going to do this 15 more times. Okay, so I got all 16. Because I was using the Very Vanilla cardstock and it's a bit thicker than the DSP, I didn't want to chance doubling it up. But if you want to go ahead and try, go ahead. This section, like cutting out all of this stuff, perfect for your little ones. if you want to get them involved and have them help you like make stuff, doing stuff on the Big Shot is a great way, especially with something like this. As long as it's on the sheet of paper, it's going to cut out fine, versus like having a stamped image and having to place it perfectly. So they can just like pop that die anywhere on that sheet of paper and run it through the Big Shot and cut it out, and it's very easy for them to do. You're setting them up for success. They can feel like they've accomplished something. Give them that sense of pride. And yeah, okay, so what we're going to do next is start assembling these envelopes. So I'm going to show you on a couple. I've got my bone folder. Now, you don't have to do this part, but I want the front of my card to not poof up. So if you don't burnish the edges, then sometimes the card can get a little puffy, a little bloated. So I go ahead, I burnish the edges. I take my liquid glue. Sorry if I sound a little like stuffed up, because I am. My nose is terribly plugged and sniffing a lot. It's a combination of, it's been kind of hot and cold. It was like in the teens, and now it's raining outside, and my nose is not liking it. It's dry in here, so I'm getting nosebleeds, and it's just, I know it's probably more information that you wanted, so let me actually go over what I just did. So again, burnishing the edges, getting out our liquid glue. Now I do this bottom triangle. I just put a little bit of glue all on that triangle. Fold over one of the sides on top of it, put a little dot of glue on the end of that little flap, and I fold it over, and then I take my clothespin and I pop it off to the side. Okay, that is it. They are all done and put together, and I am loving the way that these have come out. They are so cute and adorable. Let me line them up so you can get a better look-see of everything and get you a little closer so you can really see what they look like. Okay, so here's what they all look like. So I've got them in pairs, so each side of it. Oh, they're so cute. Love it. All right, so now that that's done, let's now push these aside because we don't need them for right now. And we're going to take our little note cards and we're going to start doing some little teeny tiny stamping. So we've got our, let's see, definitely love you lots. Let's see, and a teeny tiny note. We'll do kiss. I wonder how these would look. Yeah, that might be fun. I don't know. I think definitely like, yeah, the kissy lips. And alright, there's 3 of these size little hearts. And we'll get those stamped on there too. Let's see, and I think we definitely need a sending love. And yeah, I think that, I mean, you could use, this one too if you wanted. I think I'm good with all of this. Maybe yeah, we'll go ahead and get sent with love. Let's see how hugs and kisses will fit on here. A little bit tighter than I would like it to be, so I'm going to skip that one. So, alright, I'm also deciding, like, since I'm going to be using the hearts and the little kissy, I'm also going to bring in some real red ink to go along with the basic black. So we've got our real red and our basic black. The sentiments I'm going to stamp in basic black, and these ones I'm going to stamp in the real red. So super simple and easy. There we go. We'll do the kissy lips, and then, all right, so this is block A, and I'm going to use block G for the sentiments, and we're just going to stamp these guys and just fill it all out. Just make it pretty. So we've got our sentiment here, basic black, teeny tiny note. Alright, so those are the basic sentiments. Now let's pull over our real red, wipe off my hands again, bring over the empty ones. Alright, so now we've, oh, I forgot to do sending love too. Have to go back to that one. Alright, got our little mwah. There we go, look at that. It's so adorable. So this is just what we're going to do with the rest of these. So you get the picture. I'm just going to fast forward through all of this. Okay, so now we've got all of our little note cards stamped. We've got our envelopes put together. Let me just double check, make sure my fingers are not inky. I'm going to pull over our pool party card paste and our very vanilla sheet. Now let's see. I'm going to mix these up. I want a good mix. See how many of these will fit on one card. Alright, so it looks like 4 per card. Alright, now the choice is, do I mix and match them all? Or do I do, you know, like with this, where it's the same one, just the 2 different ways? I think a mixy-matchy is going to be better. But I will do 2 whites and 2 reds. So these are just going to get adhered down. Now I'm just going to slide in our little sentiments into each one, and I think I want the actual sentiment to be in all of the red based cards, and we'll do our little what we stamped in real red in the cards that are more of the white base. So we'll adhere that down, but you know what, let's do. Maybe love note. Don't like that one. Yeah, I think. Nah, we'll do hello love. Love note is fun, but I think hello love is where it's going to be. Let me see. Yes, alright. Another element. Alright, you could totally just stamp your hello love right on this. And I think I will do it in real red. So, let me pull back out my real red. I'm going to go ahead and stamp that. So, we're going to be using, which is block C. Just going to stamp that right on the bottom. Just like this. There we go. You could also heat emboss that if you wanted to. Alright. Or we can get a piece of Whisper White and our, I believe this is the Fancy Label Punch. I'm not 100% certain. And we're just going to cut out one of those. And then we will stamp it with our Real Red and our Hello Love. We go, so that would get adhered down to there. Let me go ahead. Let's get our little envelopes all sealed down. So I'm just using my snail adhesive. You can use your Tombow liquid glue if you wanted to as well. Let me actually do this in the camera frame. That might help you all to see what's going on. So I'm just trying to center them, group them together, make it fairly symmetrical, but also knowing that this is handmade and it's not going to be completely symmetrical. Oh, I know what I can add to this. Hold on. Alright, let's go with, this is some of the metallic thread from the celebration. So let's go with, yes, some silver metallic thread. So I'm just going to snip off a piece of this. There we go. And we're going to put it right back behind our Hello Love. Again, that Hello Love is if you're not going to do the label, if you're just going to stamp straight on it. So just going to wrap it around. Use a piece of tape to adhere it down. This is going to be in the middle of the card. No one's going to see it. Do not wrestle with liquid glue or anything else. Just a standard old piece of tape will just do nicely. And let's pop a couple dimensionals on this piece. Pop it on right like that. Again, let me wipe off my hands. So there's our card front. Let's go ahead and get some snail adhesive on the back of this. We've got our piece of Pool Party. We're just going to pop that on. If you wanted to bump this up another level, you could absolutely like ink the edges of the Very Vanilla. Alright, let's go ahead and this is our other sheet of Very Vanilla that we're going to put on the inside for our sentiment. And this, let's actually go ahead and stamp Happy Valentine's Day. And I think with this one I want to do it in the basic black, mostly because I can. So I'm going to go ahead and ink up Happy Valentine's Day in the basic black. Stamp it down, and there we go. You could also use some of the stamps to stamp on a, A2 size envelope. So there we go. Like the hardest part of this is, making the envelopes, I think. And again, you don't have to make all of these. Clearly, we just used 4 on this card. So, I just wanted to, go crazy and kind of show everything as much as I could and like give you different ideas for this card. But this is the basics of it, and it is interactive, so the recipient can like pull out these. You could even like go ahead and write like little notes on these if you wanted to. It doesn't have to just be the stamped images. Have fun with this. So let's take this same sort of thought and make our Project Life card. So again, we've got our Pool Party that is 3x4 with the Very Vanilla piece that is 2 3/4 by 3 3/4. Let's grab us some little cards. Now these, because it is in a Project Life album, might not be seen as much. Like chances are people aren't going to be like reaching into your Project Life album to pull these out. So I actually think maybe going this way with it. Alright, so a couple ways. You could take, your piece of metallic ribbon, pop them on like that. Before making your Project Life cards, see how it's all laid out on your page protector, because you don't want to make a card for portrait when all you have is landscape, or vice versa. So actually, I think I'm going to pop this down the center. I'm going to make this, really simple because it is a Project Life card, so I do kind of want, my photos, like those are what needs to stand out. So I'm just going to take some regular old tape to adhere down that ribbon. And we'll adhere these down. I do feel like I need to offset them or something a little bit, so probably like that. We'll get our snail adhesive on. Just offset them just a little bit. Just a little bit. Let's go ahead and adhere that down. Alright, now clearly this needs a little something. So what I'm going to do is pull out my little hearts from my Jar of Love set. I love the little hearts from the Jar of Love set. Like, it's fantastic. So I'm just going to pop on a couple dots of the liquid glue so that I can then pop on some of these little hearts, just like that. Do I want the white? No, I think I want them all red because I want them to pop out a little bit. It's like the love is spilling out of the cards. Do, do, do. Alright, so there's another little level, and I feel like there's some bling that's missing, so you can also add in some rhinestones if you want. I'm not going to do that. I think I just want to take my Wink of Stella. So let me grab that. So my clear Wink of Stella. Shaky, shaky, shaky. Pop it open. I'm just going to do some little dots. This is going to be, fairly subtle. I'll bring it up and maybe you can see it on camera. They're just little dots, different sizes. Make it asymmetrical. Otherwise it's just going to look a little funny. There we go. You can see some of that bling going on. Look, once you see the shadow, like that really shows like the three-dimension of it all. So, okay. So that is it for my Project Life card, because I just wanted in just to add a little something. You could take one of the little sentiments and go ahead and stamp it. Yeah, let's go ahead and do that too. Why not? So, alright, we're just going to get Sending Love in basic black and just pop it in the corner here. So there we go. There's your Project Life card. Let me clean up my space and I'll bring in the projects. Okay, crafty peeps, here are today's projects. I am so happy with how they turned out. The only things that I might change and adjust is the background sheets of the Very Vanilla. I might run them through with an embossing folder just to give a little something. I might ink up the edges just to give it a little extra pop. Other than that, I'm really happy with how they turned out. Did I need to make all of these? No, but you know what? I'm so glad that I now have all of this on hand and I can just reach for them really easily and, you know, make up more of these cards if I wanted to, or Project Life cards or whatever. So I had fun with this. It was fun to play around with this stuff. I am loving the metallic ribbon, the classic label punch or the elegant label punch, whatever it's called. Head over to my blog to find out what it actually is. I am loving this punch. It just added that little something to it, and you can ink the edges of this. When in doubt, ink the edges. It makes everything better. So there's today's projects. Thank you so much for watching. If you liked what you saw, please remember to like and subscribe. Remember that a full list of products used can be found on the coordinating blog post. The link will be in the description bar below, and it takes you right to the blog post, so you're not having to search through everything and find the right one. Links to all current Stampin' Up! Catalogs can be found on my blog. You can get downloadable PDFs, but if you want to actually have a copy of the catalog in your hands to love and to hold in sickness and in health, all you have to do is be a customer of mine, and I send those to you for free as long as you've ordered something within the last 6 months. Remember, you can shop 24/7 at my Stampin' Up! Online store, ecdesignstudios.stampinup.net. Link to that is in the description bar. Don't forget to head over to my Facebook page, EC Designs Studio. I believe it's what it's called. Link in the description bar. All links in the description bar. To keep abreast of more of what is going on a day-to-day basis, and Facebook Live videos and all of that stuff. That's it for today. Until next time, happy crafting. Bye!